Second and 10.
Hawk 70, Hawk 70. 19, Lock Warrior 70. Cup 19, Cup 19, Mustang 18, Pioneer.
They'll look to throw. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Ochin. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. The linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead, it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
Got a punter Bailey on now as he sends this one away. It'll be a 39-yard punt on the return. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Now a guy who played his high school ball at Miami Central, it's James Cook. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Allen now looks to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Just one catch for him last week in the wild card win, but getting involved early here and picks up the 1st. 1st down, here's the run with Cook. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, it'll be 2nd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Allen to throw it. Oh, that is incomplete.
Well, they get man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. To the air, Allen. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 27 yards there on a very nice 3rd down conversion.
1st and 10 at the 29-yard line.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory as they're down to the 29-yard line. Back to the ground, Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. A tackle for loss there. 2 last week. He's tough to handle coming off the edge.
I mean, you talk about a defensive end, your first thought is how does he rush the passer? That's where he makes his big plays getting into the backfield. But the best ones can play the run as well. And that's what we're seeing from him, that excellent combination of holding the point of attack and also getting upfield to make plays in the backfield.
Now Allen. That is caught. Kincaid with it. And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 13-yard line. 19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains.
A gain of 19 yards. 1st down, Buffalo.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. In motion, the tight end. Allen off the play fake. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever.
And that's caught inside the 30. It's a big play there for Miami. 54 yards. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
No one's zooming past that number there. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run.
And when you get into the divisional round of the playoffs, this is where having the ability to run the football is such an advantage. The defenses, they're generally going to be tougher the further you go along. So if you can get something established up front, it's going to give you a great chance to move on.
70 Ranger, 70 Ranger.
They'll look to throw here on first down. For the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Down here in the red zone, you know your tight end's going to be a favorite target. Couldn't hang on.
And sometimes they just have to get out of their own head because they understand how tight windows are there and how many bodies are there. And sometimes they just overthink it and don't catch the ball.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Wandale Robinson from 13 yards out. And the Dolphins are on the board first here in this division round matchup. Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And that makes it 7-0 Dolphins.
Makes the score Dolphins 7, Bills 0. Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he returns this to the 22.
The Bills take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
So from the 36 now, first and 10.
56. What's up?
So they fake the handoff. Now Allen.
And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
I certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Second and 10.
Allen. Setting up the screen for Cook. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
Again, they'll throw with Allen. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 45-yard line.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive, come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to two people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
Going right side here, and that's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting us inside the 25. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. On play action, Allen. Throw left side to Kincaid. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
8 yards on the
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
2 yards to go, 2nd down. They'll try the middle with Cook. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
A good display of power, but it will only get him just inside the 5 to the 4. And that's a gain of 6 on the first down run.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Allen going throw. Oh, his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. The defense looked geared up to stop the run, but obviously, Charles, they were ready for the pass, too.
Yeah, they were hoping they could catch everyone crashing and playing the run, but that was a very ill-advised throw right there. The opportunity, lost.
Ready up.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. But the good news for them, they got the football. The bad news, they have to go 99 yards here as they start this drive out on their own 1-yard line.
Ready.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Short throw going to be caught by Waller. They call it a gain of a yard, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
70 Lions. 19 Lions. Hawk 70. 19 tight. 19 tight. 18 Rattler. 18 Rattler.
Back to throw now in his own end zone. Down man, it's Robbie Chosen. And he takes it all the way up to the 45-yard line. Pretty good throw there by the rookie to move the chains.
I don't think anyone would argue that having that extra week definitely helps come playoff time. And those were some fresh legs right there. That extra practice time and planning, certainly in evidence.
Now Achane on 1st and 10. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield strike.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Ready, break.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Ready, cut.
They'll set up a throw. He's caught. And he's got a first down as a tackle made at the Bills' 29-yard line. Give him 22 there on the third down conversion. So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory as they're down to the 29-yard line.
Pat the 60.
Out of the gun, here's again to H.M.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend.
So from the 26-yard line, here's 2nd down and 8.
Pat. Steady.
A quick throw out wide, caught by Robinson. They just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
60 Eagles, 60. Steady.
Back to throw now on first down. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29.
Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11.
Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21.
60 Eagles, 60 Eagles. Panther 11. 19 Lions. Ready.
He'll drop to throw. And he rifles one incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make third down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big third down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Warriors 70. Cowboys. Mustang 19 tight. 19 tight.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense because they've been showing their best coverages on third down. So far, only allowed one conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
The kick by Sanders is good. And the Dolphins will add on to their lead.
Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive.
They're certainly in need of some kind of points here before the end of the half. A field goal or something being shut out right now. They could really use some momentum before they head into halftime.
Well, they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost.
Throwing now is Allen. Now he'll tuck this and run. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, you know me, whether you need it or not, I'm going to give a little unsolicited advice. Just throw it downfield out of the pocket only if you're absolutely sure. Otherwise, use your running ability and try and get those yards a safer way.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. It's out. It's loose. And this ball recovered by the offense. But remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long. Now Allen. He's going to let this go for the end zone. Allen going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. And the Dolphins are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half.
Ready.
2nd and 9 now from the 21.
Buffalo 18. 19 Lions. Check. Street. Panther 11. 18 Rattler. Ready.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really.
Mustang 19. Scoop.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call.
Here we go. Shot.
Achane gets it from the gun. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Win or go home, that's the name of the game, and we're back underway with the second half of this AFC divisional round. And this one definitely not in the landing zone. In fact, it's over the back line, so this is going to come out to the 35. Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the 3rd quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Alert!
So the shotgun snap to Allen. A short throw pulled in by Kincaid. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
3rd down, here's a run by Cook. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. 4th down now after a loss of 2. The Bills send the punter out as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. And it'll be Dolphin football.
At their own 27-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
Let's go now. Ready?
They go play action here on 1st down. To the left side, taken in by Chosen. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A big play that time on the catch and run. And the Dolphins are going to get a fresh set of downs.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish the...
And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Devon Achane, 51 yards. And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
Kickoff for Miami.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Allen going to run with it. And past the 30 before he's out of bounds. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A 1st down, a 16-yard gain.
First down. A gain of 16 yards. 1st down, Bills.
Here's Allen to throw it. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
Allen now looks to throw. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
My next teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
This has kind of been the story all night long, hasn't it? An inability to really get much done on third downs, and it's costing them.
Still just the third quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on fourth.
319! Half.
And again, it's Allen. That's to his running back, complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one. So the fourth down conversion has him inside the 40 now, 1st and 10. Allen cannot get away, and down he goes. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the first down sack. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Here's Allen. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Brandon Cooks, the receiver he was going after. And it's 3rd down. We'll see where they go for this play call. Obviously tough in this spot, backed up. To the air, Allen. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
And the Bills' first down.
Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10. To throw, it's Allen. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
It's 2nd down.
On play action, Allen. That's caught. Kincaid for the Bills touchdown. From 21 yards away. And the Bills are able to cut into that deficit.
So that, Charles, their first score of the ballgame, obviously, coming here in the 3rd quarter. Is that going to be enough to energize the troops?
It's a great question, and we'll wait to see the answer, but it's finally something for them to build on. Now they know that they can actually score against that defense.
Uh-oh, flag comes out here. This is going to be roughing the kicker.
When you're going back there on the kick block, you've got to go to the right point. That didn't happen. Ran into the kicker. The penalty flag had to come out.
Matt Prater set to kick off.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
Looking to put a drive together.
Ready! 60 Eagles! 60 Eagles! Shot alert! Let's go!
The drive starts with a run from H.M.
He had to fight that time. Ran through one tackle, but ultimately he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
6-yard line.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
Robinson hauling it in out right. Down the sideline he goes.
And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown.
Wandale Robinson
with his 2nd touchdown of the night.
And the Dolphins may add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd.
is a three-score game now. The lead moves to 17.
Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And that is over the back line of the end zone. It's a touchback, and they'll bring this out to the 35-yard line. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions. Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. 1 quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. From the 35, here's second down at 7.
Hey, tight.
Now Allen. Oh, the ball comes out on the hip, but they'll say it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
The Bills on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Incomplete on the deep ball.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. One final try here for Allen. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. So the drive stays alive after the 4th down conversion. 1st and 10 inside the 30. Again, they'll throw with Allen. Allen going to run with it. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here at their own 23.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 23.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead. Short throw caught by Dulcich. Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
90, Panther 60, Panther, trap 60, trap 60.
Here's 2nd and 8. They'll swing this out wide. Here's Ochane. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Up the middle, Achane.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
He was brought down by Gregory
Call it no
Rousseau.
gain on the play, and it'll be second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Cowboy 80.
They're going to look to throw.
They set up the screen. Achane has it.
And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That third down conversion good for 23. So first and 10 now in Buffalo territory. Right at the 40.
Back to the ground, Achane.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
7 Pirates, 7 Pirates, Panther 11, Panther 11.
Out of the gun now on third down.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone.
And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
Jason Sanders on for the field goal. A 55-yard attempt.
And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And the Dolphins will add on to their lead.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. Their hopes of advancing past this divisional round hanging by a thread, if that, as they begin here with a 1st and 10.
And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ballgame, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Again, it's Achane. And he'll follow his blockers here all the way down to the 23-yard line. 90 yards rushing for him now in the ball game as he is trying to will his guys to the championship round next weekend.
23-yard line.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column.
Come on, set. Hawk 70, Hawk, go.
A run straight ahead with Achane.
They'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
From the 17, here's 2nd and 4.
Check, hurt. 60 Bison, 60 Bison.
On the handoff, it's A-Chain. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 6.
Here we go, Scott. 70 Timberwolves. 60 Eagles, 60 Eagles.
Give this to A-Chain. But he won't quite make it. He needed 6. He got about 5. 4th down.
So many things go into making a good play on defense. In this situation, just not being blown out of the way was a big start, and then a nice tackle to finish things off.
And his kick is good. And the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice win for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. The Dolphins advancing in these playoffs as we say so long, everybody. So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Dolphins are winners here as we say so long from South Florida.